We are here today. First of all, I want to thank ATS for sponsoring us in this event here, and for everyone that's joining from the outside to participate. So, as mentioned, we're a third generation family-owned business. We've been in business here in Southern California since 1958, and the bulk of our revenues is in the manufacture, distribution, and sale of couplings sold into the plumbing, sanitary, drain, waste, vent, and sewage markets. Having been in business since 1958, we've expanded our product line along the years, and we would now be considered the largest manufacturer, full line manufacturer of products sold into the plumbing industry. And we're in about 130,000 square foot industrial facility with 26 injection molding machines and about 15 compression molding machines. Our primary markets are plumbing and sewage, but we also have a portion of our business for air intake, which we'll talk about a little bit later. As mentioned, 3 generations, predominantly in the plumbing industry. Okay, so over the years, we've acquired and developed new product lines, of which now we would be considered the largest manufacturer of DWV couplings in the industry here in North America. Today I want to talk about 3 specific product lines which would be interesting to the specification engineer. Specifically, we have what's called a heavyweight coupling, which is a heavy duty no-hub or MJ coupling, which you'll see a photo here of. Then we have what's called a band seal specialty coupling, also known as a shielded transition coupling. These are to make transitions into different materials, of which we'll talk a little bit more about those as well. And then your standard MJ coupling, which is basically cast iron to cast iron connections, kind of a less highly engineered product than, say, the heavyweight coupling. So these are the 3 major product lines that we sell into commercial DWV jobs. And so although we manufacture a lot more products, these are the 3 that we want to focus on for this presentation. So the fact that we're in California, we also make sure that we source all our componentry, clamps, stainless steel, rubber from North American sources. So we are a fully integrated manufacturing operation here in Corona, of which all materials come from domestic sources. When I say domestic, North American sources, Canada or the USA. So the first product line, as mentioned, that I want to talk about would be the heavyweight or the heavy duty no-hub coupling. So this is a cast iron hubless soil pipe and fitting coupling for, as mentioned, sanitary, drain, waste, vent applications. So this is all non-pressure gravity flow applications. So remember, the product lines that we'll talk about today are all on the non-pressure gravity flow side of things. So we don't make, or at least for this presentation, we don't make products for high pressure applications, specifically for water. So we're all in the drain, waste, vent, sewer side of the business of the 3 product lines that I'm going to focus on today. So these are our heavy duty no-hub couplings, also known in the Canadian market as MJ couplings. So these are higher grade of stainless steel. Specifically, it's all 304 stainless steel. It's got multiple clamps because of the width of the coupling. So you have either 4 or 6 clamp configurations. As shown here on the componentry, that the shields are made of 304 stainless steel, and the gasket is a 1-piece neoprene gasket conforming to the standards that we'll talk about here at the last slide on this product line. So it's a beefier, bulkier no-hub or MJ coupling used for specialty applications, and we'll go into those specialty applications later in the presentation. So all this information that I'm sharing with you today would be found on our website. So you'd be able to access all this information. Specifically, we have the installation instructions. We talk about how to install these couplings. Because they're 4 and 6 band couplings, they install in a pattern that's slightly different than, say, a standard 2 and 4 band MJ coupling. So this is information here that I'm showing you would be found on our website, as well as a submittal. So we have submittal for all sizes, 1.5 through 15 inch. So for the engineers, basically you can download this PDF off our website and then have access to all the technical information that you would need in order to specify the product. As far as standards go related to the heavyweight coupling, we are an IAPMO listing here, and the product complies to the following ASTM standards, which is in this case A240A, which is A240, which is a stainless steel specification, ASTM C564, which is a rubber neoprene gasket rubber specification, and then ASTM C1540, which is the technical performance testing. So that tells you basically all the minimum hydrostatic pressure ratings that each size needs to withstand, as well as minimum thrust for these couplings as well. So it bounces back. C1540 would refer to ASTM C564, which is the neoprene gasket, and then also the 240 standards, which are the stainless steel requirements. So as mentioned, going back up here, the IAPMO filing is a UPC filing for the USA, and then the CSA B602 certification is for the Canadian market. The second product line would be the BandSeal specialty couplings or shielded transition couplings. These are to make basically transitions between different sizes and pipe materials. The most common ones here is cast iron to copper, cast iron to plastic, cast iron to stainless steel. We have copper to copper, we have stainless steel to stainless steel, but I'd say the most common connections for commercial plumbing applications on the DWV side of things would be cast iron transition to, mostly cast iron to copper or cast iron to plastic. So I say between those two transitions, sizes 1.5 through 4, that's probably 80% of the volume is that 1.5 through 4 inch cast to copper and cast to plastic. But as mentioned, we have a number of different connection options as well. So here's the installation instructions, once again, found in the website. You can find all this information in our website as downloads. And then on the submittal for the engineering community to have all the specific information related to what standards it meets, all the testing, performance testing of gasket on the gasket material, sizes, a grade of stainless steel, as well as dimensions of the clamps and the shear bands, etc. As far as standards go, same ones as the above with the heavyweights. We've got an IAPMO listing on that, and then the CSA listing on that for all of North America. And as mentioned here, you've got the 240 and the C564 are same ASTM standards, one for gasket, one for the stainless steel, but there's a different standard for the performance testing of the BandSeal specialty coupling. Specifically, that's ASTM C1460. Whereas the heavyweights was ASTM C1540. So 1460 is basically the performance requirements related to these BandSeal specialty couplings. Now we have access to all these different standards. So if you need a reference copy, let us know. Okay, the last one, or the third one, would be just your standard NoHub MJ coupling. So this is also like the heavyweight coupling used to join cast iron to cast iron soil pipe and fittings. So this is they come in the same size range as the heavyweights, 1.5 through 10 inch. The difference between these and the heavyweights is 1, the width of the coupling, 2, the number of stainless steel worm drive clamps, and then 3, grade of the stainless steel. So as if you recall on the heavyweight couplings, it was all 304 stainless steel. With the standard no-hub or MJ coupling, it's 301 stainless steel. And instead of having four clamps on the smaller sizes and 6 clamps on the bigger sizes, these ones have 2 clamps on the smaller sizes and 4 clamps on the bigger sizes. The standards related to the gasket are the same, specifically ASTM C564. So you'll see a recurring theme through all these 3 product lines here. The same IATMO listing, the same CSA listing, the same ASTM related to steel, same ASTM standard related to the neoprene gasket. But then the difference here, as you see, this one is actually under the requirements of ASTM C1277. So 1277 is for cast iron to cast iron connections. So here's some photos of different job sites that we threw into the presentation here to get you an idea on this different commercial structures that our products would be found in. So basically, you've got your commercial structures. We would include that as high-rise apartment, office building would be 2 examples of that. Hospitality, we're in a lot of hotels, healthcare facilities, those are basically hospitals. Civic would be government institutions like federal buildings. Education would be schools. Federal is in civic, I kind of put in the same category there. Education, schools, universities, sports, as you can see here, the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, that's a sports arena. And then also in residential applications as well.
They won't be on the PowerPoint presentation.
Okay. So that's a brief overview with regards to 3 product lines I wanted to talk about. A little bit of an introduction to the company, who we are, where we are, what we do. And now Mo, did we want to open it up for some discussion or for some questions, or did you have some things you wanted to go over?
Yeah, absolutely. If anybody has any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer them. As I mentioned, Mission Rover is one of the newest manufacturers that we've added to our spec tool. So we wanted to do a brief introduction today, but we'll open it up for questions. If you have any questions, please share your questions in the chat, and I'll relay them to Chris. One question we have here, Chris, is the price and how does it compare to competitors, basically?
So we're price competitive, across the board. We have to be, right? We wouldn't be in business if we weren't. But we do have a number of different competitors out there. I would say the MJ coupling itself is probably the most quote unquote down and dirty product line as far as pricing goes in most markets. But that said, we still sell a lot of domestic couplings in the U.S. So I would just answer that as that we're price competitive with everyone we do business with, and if we weren't, we wouldn't still be in business 65 years later. Are we the cheapest on the block? No, absolutely we're not. But we offer the broadest range of product. One of our selling points is the fact that if you for all the different products, you can one-stop shop with us and get everything you need from one source versus having to go to our different manufacturers in order to get your flexible couplings, to get your MJ couplings, to get your shielded transition couplings. We offer the entire range, so you can one-stop shop with us.
What I'll do, I just wanted to do a quick demo here on our site, on our spec tool. So most of you are familiar with the dashboard. Now it's a little bit revamped, so we've added, now you can you'll always see the next webinar that we have available. So for example, you can see today's session where you will be able to click and register for it. We've also added product future hospital products, for example, and the first product here, we can see the mission, should be the coupling. Excuse me. And in terms of just adding it to your project, again, we can go, you click on creating a new project, do mission test, and then you select your country, province, and most of you are familiar with this part. This is more for enabling the building code engine rule so that we know exactly which building code we can go by. You can select your area, the building type that you're working on, and it was commercial. For example, we can say it's an entertainment center. Next, you can pick from one of the templates. Next, finish. And it's going to take you to the product category page. So if you're looking for a coupling, you can search for coupling. Now you can pin it as a favorite, and this way it will always be on top here. One of the first products you can select. So if you click on couplings, you can see the different mission couplings that we do have on our tool. Now, you can always, it's going to ask you to configure your product. If you want to go by most popular, which is, these are recommended by manufacturers. If you want to select if you're not familiar, if you're not sure yet, and you just want to have it as a placeholder, you can go by an unsize selection, for example. Add product. And we can go complete. Now I just want to show you the download format. So you have your submittals, your long spec, for example. And now we can generate documents. I do need to change so that you can always, so I'm just going to change the sharing option so that you can see the download formats. All right, so we have the product brochure. You'll have your office, project name, location, and here's our cut sheet, basically, for the product that we've just selected. Now we can go back and open the long spec format. In Word document, so that you can, if you want to edit, you can edit. If you want to copy it over to your project, you can also do that as well. I believe we do have a question. This is for you, Chris. Life expectancy of the couplings in a direct Berry application.
Sorry, what's the question?
The life expectancy of the coupling in a direct Berry.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so we guarantee the life of the piping system. So you know, there's the whatever the pipe system's going to do, we will say the coupling's going to do as well. So as long as it's installed correctly under normal conditions, normal soils conditions, you know, it'll last the life of the piping system.
Any other questions? We will send out a certificate of attendance right after, by Friday to all the attendees. If you have any questions regarding the product, if you need help with any projects, you can always contact me, or you can contact your account manager. We will send a copy of this presentation along with the recording as well. And there might be, that wasn't a question. It's just people thanking you, Chris.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.